Muriel Anton soutěži 25 žen českého biznesu obsadila letos už po třetí za sebou s přehledem první místo. Stalo se tak v říjnu. A je už 2 roky, více než 2 roky generální ředitelkou firmy Vodafone ČR republika. We will probably speak English now, but we obviously have a translator. Máme to vás překladatele. Myslíte si, že bude potřeba, chcete to překládat z angličtiny do češtiny? Řekněte si, paní Eva jestli bude ráda, pokud vám to udělá radost, ale řekněte si, zase abychom to zbytečně nezdržovali. Jo. Tak kdo by si přál překlad do českého jazyka? Tak máme tady jednoho pána. Já nevím, do you wanna say next one? Okay, perfect. Okay, fantastic. So you don't even have to rush that much. That makes me very happy. Muriel was so kind to prepare pictures for us, which I'm sure you have never seen, because Muriel, we all think here that we have winter in Prague right now. So maybe at the beginning, can you introduce us the Canadian winter in the Alberta province where you grew up, where you are coming from?
I would love to. Let's just see if there. Maybe I'll just tell you a little bit about what I would call a real winter. Now it looks like what we have outside here, but in reality, last Christmas, just before I got on the plane to go back to Canada to see my dad and my sisters and their family, my sister said, "It's a little cold, so be prepared." I'm thinking, what? You know, I grew up there. What's a little cold? She said, "It's minus 46.
But like, how can you actually live there? Like, how do you like how do you go out and like how do you defreeze your car? And because I mean, Canada is such a sophisticated first world country, so.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That reminds me of a story, because you adapt, right? You dress in big clothes. You have hats. You only let a small part of your eyes be seen. All of your skin has to be covered all of the time if you go out, and then you're very comfortable.
Just speak for yourself.
But you also adapt, because in Canada, in Edmonton, in the town that I grew up, you drive everywhere because everything is so far away. So
yeah, that's my question.
So, for example, in our cars, we have heaters inside the engines that you plug in. And I remember one group of Japanese visitors that came into our city. And this was just before the winter started. And they looked at a parking lot. And there were metal posts side by side with plug-ins. And they said, "This is amazing. You have so many electric-powered vehicles. You don't use gas in this city. Everything is powered by battery. That's amazing." Of course, these plugs are for the car, so that in winter, because if you leave it more than 2 hours, it won't start if it's cold, to plug it in to keep the heater running, so that when you come back, the car engine isn't frozen.
Because I know Japanese stores, they probably came in t-shirts, right? And brands. Anyway, but can you as a little girl maybe, did you do any sports or did you just sort of stay inside? Because I know the city where you come from, Edmonton, there's quite an important ice hockey team, which I think we all know, and there is also which is the hockey player, Wayne Gretzky?
You mean the best hockey player that's ever, except for one special Czech hockey player. Yes, it's true. But we had one sport for the men, which was hockey, and then one sport for the girls.
Which one did you do?
This is a figure skating outfit. That's me in the white.
And the little princess.
and my sister Gwendolyn on the left. And
Little Red Riding Hood.
Yes, exactly. And it was every community had a little ice rink outdoors. I skated my whole life. Even in high school, I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and my mother was driving me to skating lessons so I could skate for 2 hours before I started school.
Was it training outside in -47?
No, we didn't go out past -25 to the outside rink. The idea was you would go out, you would skate very hard, very fast, and before your toes froze, you would come back inside, take your skates off, warm up your feet, put them back in, and go out and then do it again. And it was there was always this line, because if you waited too long, the pain in your feet was extraordinary. That was special.
Let me ask you an important question. Does Gwendolyn actually have stockings, or is she barefoot? It looks like she doesn't have any stockings.
Yeah, actually, she's got bare legs. But again, you adapt. You learn to be tough, and you learn early.
How many sisters do you have? Do you have?
Yeah, there was 3 of
Oh,
us.
here we go.
Valerie was the oldest. She's a special education school teacher, and then Gwendolyn, the middle, and I'm the youngest.
So who was the boss? Did you show the leadership skills, at this age already, or did you just have to listen to them?
Yeah, I'd love to say yes.
So Muriel, were you the spoiled one, the youngest girl, the mommy's girl? So what did you say? So the oldest one is the special education teacher, and the middle one?
The middle one is the stay-at-home mom who looks after the older one, the younger one, and my dad.
So how it comes that you are the only one who has such an important position? Who kind of, who coached you?
I have this discussion with my sister all the time, because the special education and what they do in their field, I say, is so even infinitely more important than what we do in business, because this is a real challenge. This is a job with such meaning, and the challenges that the teachers have on this. But for me, my dad, I got working in business, I would say, more from my dad's side. He was an entrepreneur. He had 9 years of school, and then he left the farm to go and start out on his own.
2 questions. So just maybe you could sort of explain to us what a special education teacher actually is. in Czech because we have special kinds. And also, what does it mean that your father had nine grades? That he didn't finish high school, or?
No, he didn't get to high school.
He didn't get to high school. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was just a self-made man, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have to, the times back then, like we came from a very farming community. Like all of my cousins and my dad's family, like everybody grew up on the farm. And his family was 10, and that was a small family because you had very big families, with farming in farming communities. A special education there's many different areas of special education. So it can be learning disorders. It can be.
And that's her specialty. That's
yes.
your sister's specialty. I see.
Yeah.
So learning disorders.
Yes.
So that's very challenging. So are you saying that she was the one coaching you, maybe, when you were a child? No offense.
Yes, she made me what I am today.
I mean, if I remember well the next picture, which is kind of, yeah. See, not that I would be that well prepared, but I must say I interviewed you 2 years ago, so you kind of shared this, secret with me, that you used to be very, very shy. So, which I think is something kind of important to know for the women sitting here, that not everybody who is a CEO can actually, sort of discuss things openly with a man in a boardroom, that's something you have to learn it. So, maybe you could share a little bit of memories from your childhood. How did you overcome the shyness? Like, how did it represent itself? Did you not speak at all, or?
Well, I spoke, but maybe not.
The few words, very.
Yeah, I think it was more, once I got to know somebody, then it was okay. But at the beginning, it was much more difficult to deal with people, especially if they were older than myself. Not great training for being a businesswoman, I have to say.
I would like to have a boss like that, like who wouldn't talk for the first 2 years until you get to know me.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
Thanks.
But when you, it's just when you grow up, when you deal with different life experiences, when you deal with different people. For me, I always ended up having somebody either in school or in business that was almost, and this is going to sound a bit corny, but
Preaching.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. But somebody who actually believed that I could do something, whether or not it was in university or whether or not it was in business. And I'll just add one tiny little pitch here. Because this past year, what I did with a number of other people in the country is we started a cross-company mentoring program for women in Czech business.
That's very important. Yeah. So maybe you could introduce it a little bit more, because that's a sort of newish project of yours.
It is. So it's executives on boards, men or women are mentors, and then we match them with women in different businesses, different industries. So for example, I have a mentee that is in the banking industry. Like, I don't have somebody from telecommunications. So we have this cross-company, cross-industry mentoring program where people sign up, stay in it for 1 year, and then we're about to relaunch the next year's program, and we're doubling in size. And it's amazing the support that we get from the community, not just the mentors, but people who are interested in the program. And I actually have to say that I might even look forward to the sessions that I have, because we just meet once a month. I look forward to them probably as much or more than actually my mentee. It's really very interesting, and it just provides that little bit of extra support, guidance, not giving answers to people, but helping them to think about what the question might be, how they approach things, whether or not it's business related or personal growth and development.
It's for women exclusively. It's not for men. Men are not allowed to be there.
Men can be mentors.
Okay, so they can teach women, but they can't sort of participate in the.
Yeah, I think what we
No,
have,
that's fair. That's fair.
What we have is we have a structure where I think there's a good network and support structure for men. This is for women, and it's not about becoming a CEO. It's about reaching your potential and just getting some additional support along the way.
Right. Do you want to move from sort of the toddler years to what is this?
Yeah.
Is this your first horse?
This is my first horse, and as I said, like we come from a very it's the prairies. We have farms and horses. I didn't get my first horse until I was in university because I had to get a job, pay for it, and take some lessons. And this horse, his name was Snipper, and of course you went out riding in the middle of winter, no problem. But the challenge
It looks very romantic.
Yeah, you freeze, okay? But the challenge with this horse, and I've got something here to show you. I'll just come back to it. Is this isn't me, but there is every city, small city, and village has what's called a rodeo. And this is one of the biggest ones in Alberta. This is the Calgary Stampede. And the reason I put this picture in is my horse Snipper did this to me randomly whenever I was out riding. And I couldn't help but to put it in.
So randomly means like all the time?
Basically all the time, but I never knew when it was going to happen. And probably 90% of the time when Snipper started doing this, I was either in the dirt or in the snow.
Do we get it? Is that it? Okay.
Another danger of the prairies. This is my third horse, because my second horse got killed by lightning walking through the field. It was devastating. So then I ordered a foal, which is like a baby horse as a replacement. And this is Dallas.
Yeah, talking about courage here today, and you certainly had the courage to leave this beautiful country, warm and full of nature, to come to the Czech Republic to help here to build a new business 10 years ago. But how was it with your family? I mean, who did you kind of leave behind besides your sisters, which we have already seen?
Well, I have my two sisters and their families, and my dad.
So it's also a pretty extensive sort of family number, isn't it? There's a lot of people included. Maybe you could. Oh yeah. That's a gang.
This is the gang. Our Thanksgiving in Canada is in October. The United States is in November.
You always compete with the Americans. They think that everything kind of prior.
Ours is first. Yeah, it's the big feast time. Again,
What do you eat there?
It goes back to the harvest. So we eat big turkeys, and usually at the same meal we eat a ham, like a big ham.
What is big? Like 50 kilos, let's say?
Is that like
30 pounds,
Yeah, that's super big. Like usually you can't get anything above 25 pounds into the oven. Like it's just too big. It doesn't fit. No.
You guys have special ovens for it, don't you? It's hard to get in Prague.
What do
you eat in Prague then? You have to fly to Thanksgiving every year to Canada.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're super big ovens.
Do you really fly every year to Thanksgiving to Canada?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Thank you very much.